sudden hatred towards Freddie to turn him back into the person he once was.
And what exactly was that?
He was closed up and wouldn't talk to anyone. Refused to let Lilliana speak to anyone, including me, hating me, but it's only because his dad's death and Kara's bullying broke him to pieces. He just needed someone like me to come along and show him what he really needed. I don't want him to slip back into his old ways.
Fine. Who?
Freddie.
Is this about the breakup?
Mostly. He threw my Xbox controller at me.
How dare—
Leave it, Johnny. He was angry we brought his sister up.
Someday he'll have to talk about it.
He lost his dad, Johnny. That practically killed him until you and I showed up. Then he lost his mum because of her alcohol problem. Then Lilliana. Then I suppose he regained his mum. And now he's lost Eve too. She won't even speak to him. And it was so sudden too. Like, why? He's experienced more loss than anyone. And I know he has anxiety and anger issues. I'm not going to take anything out on him. He'll be fine. Eventually.
And when's eventually?
Ford, he threw something hard at you. That's a lot more than anger issues.
My mum is looking into therapy for him. Okay? You won't get it, Johnny. The reason he bullied me before is probably only because he blamed me for his dad's death. Maybe he still does, since it's my fault.
You need to stop saying that, Ford.
Johnny, do you remember that his girlfriend just dumped him? You know, the girlfriend that tried to help him and save his life? Everything he went through with her, the fire, and he was so broken that until now, when he ran away, he'd spent 5 days in my room not moving. Delaney was the one who managed to get him to eat or something.
After everything you've done for him though.
Forget about it, Johnny. I have.
I am not going to forget about it though. Like I said, he threw something at you. A hard object. Hasn't he done stuff like this before? Why are you still friends with him?
I'm sorry, just because you and him have never got on that well. I have my friends and you have your friends, okay? And as I said, he's lost so much, more than me and more than you. I wish I could bring Lilliana back, but I can't. And if I could turn back time, I'd do things differently. If I could turn back time, I'd tell Julia, before anyone else had the chance to, that I killed Kalia. Because that much is true, I did kill Kalia. Whatever happened afterwards was all down to me, not Freddie. I attacked her. Freddie only shot her to finish the job because he wanted to make sure she actually died instead of that time when Delaney thought she was dead after Freddie was pushed into the pool, but she wasn't. It's my fault that he's crying over his sister. I could have changed things.
Then he'd be crying over you. He wouldn't have wanted to lose you, Ford.
I know. It was an impossible situation. Someone was going to die that day. We all knew it, and we've been picking up the pieces for weeks now. I lied. I'm not over it, of course, but I'm trying my best. Trying to get on with life because that's what Lily would have wanted. Actually, if I could turn back time, I would have grabbed a kitchen knife before leaving the house. I wouldn't have cared about going to prison instead of having someone's death on my conscience. But back to the point. Freddie's been through hell ever since, and he needs his friends most. I'm not giving up on him because of a single time he lashed out at me. He needs support, and I'm not going to let him down like I did last time.
The door bursts open.
Alright, Freddie.
Freddie.
Just go.
Who?
You.
Did you hear the whole conversation?
Yes, I think so. I overheard Ford explaining to Johnny what I did about throwing the controller, so I just stopped outside, discerning it wasn't the right time for me to come in.
So, you did hear the whole thing.
Johnny suddenly runs out. Freddie closes the door.
I'm going to give Paisley a call. I think you two need some of her wisdom.
Right.
Don't blame yourself, Ford. Julia asked specifically who killed her. And I mean, technically that was me.
I practically helped to kill everyone in your family. Why are you not angry at me?
You didn't know, Ford. You didn't kill them. You didn't plunge a knife into Lilliana, did you? And you weren't the one who actually killed our dad, were you?
If that's how you're going to say it, then apply the same logic to yourself. You weren't the one to plunge a life into Lilliana either.
Guess I can't say no to that since I said it to you. I'm not forcing you to be friends with me, am I?
No, of course not.
Where did you go, Freddie?
To see my mum.
Oh.
And what did she say about all this?
She asked me if I wanted to be the person I am now, or the person I used to be. And that was my choice to make. It really made me think.
She's right though, you don't want to be that person. I didn't like that person, but you were so broken. You just needed a friend and someone to break you out of that shell. You don't want to go back there. It was a horrible time for you, and it will just make things worse. I know it's hard, but moving on, or trying to, makes you feel so much better and happier than shoving yourself in a box.
You mean Lilliana, right?
Yes, I know you've lost so much of your family, but you remember how much hell you went through after your dad died, and you know how it affected you. You don't want to return to that era, Freddie. I know you miss Lilliana, but we can get through this together. You don't need to hide away like you did before.
Huh? Freddie isn't angry for the name mention?
Shut up.
Hi,
Hey, Paisley.
did I hear arguing?
Johnny doesn't want me to be friends with Freddie.
What? Don't listen to him. Don't go back there.
Did I ever say I was? Fred and I have managed to come to an agreement that what happened to Lilliana wasn't our fault. It wasn't us that killed her.
Good, because it wasn't.
Freddie phrased it as, you didn't plunge a knife into Lilliana, did you?
That's graphic, but he's got a point. You can't dispute it, since it's a fact.
I know. That's why I said it back, and now we're under the mutual agreement that it wasn't our fault.
That's progress at least. Anyway, why did Johnny not want you to be friends?
Because I threw something at Ford and ran out.
And why did you do that, Freddie?
He brought up Lilliana.
Well, you can't avoid this subject forever, Freddie.
My mum talked sense into me.
Good.
Freddie doesn't need a therapist. He just needs Paisley.
Therapist.
Oops.
Wow, guess that hasn't been discussed. Either way, I think that's a good idea.
You would.
I want to become a therapist when I'm older.
You'd be great at it, Paisley.
Okay, when were you two going to discuss this with me?
Freddie glared daggers at Ford and Delaney and Karen.
When it had been arranged.
I thought we had a mutual agreement that we were meant to discuss things.
Well, Rose wasn't waiting for anyone. She was hot on the idea.
And she would be too.
Freddie, consider it, please. Talking helps, trust me.
What would you know about talking?
I don't like to mention it. That makes me sound like a hypocrite. But I just haven't wanted to mention it until I got to know you guys. But I suppose now is the time.
Tell us, Paisley.
I've had 2 family members die too.
What?
My dad and my twin.
You had a twin?
Yeah, Paige. I was sick, really sick on a school day once. And though I loved school, my dad made me stay at home. I was only 9. Presley had already headed off to her school. She loved her stepdad. She really didn't like her real dad. I know he cheated on Mom. I didn't like him either. That's why Mom married my dad.
But what happened?
Dad headed out of the house with Paige to go to school. Said he'd be back in 20 minutes. Mom came to check on me. Dad never returned. I never saw him again.
Paisley started crying. The tears dripped onto the bedroom floor.
Later I found out that their car had been slammed into by a lorry driver who was 3 times over the alcohol limit to drive. Presley had to be the one to tell me because Mom didn't have the strength or heart to tell me. And Presley thought she'd lost the only sister she had left. Something inside of her died. Presley thinks she's owes you something for what you did. For your bravery.
Paisley, she owes me nothing. Tell her that.
It would kill her if she lost me. Only now.
I understand.
So do I.
Maybe that's why I'm so good at the therapy part. Because I can empathize. And if you're helping someone, then empathy is everything. I know what you're going through. I blamed myself for being sick. If I hadn't been sick, then I'd be dead too. I just feel so guilty.
Survivor's guilt?
Yeah. I went to therapy. I was so against the idea, but Presley was adamant it would help me. And I never looked back because the therapy was the best thing I could have ever done. It helped me come to terms with my sisters and my dad's deaths, and also helped me see that it wasn't my fault and I shouldn't blame myself because the only person I was hurting by doing that was myself.
I can't begin to imagine how it feels to lose a twin.
It feels like half of me is missing. I ache for her every day, but I've learned coping strategies over the last 2 years, and the therapy had helped.
How long did you go to therapy for?
Just over a year.
I didn't know.
You wouldn't. I don't make a point of shouting about it. It still hurts, but I've learned to move on because that's the only thing we can do.
I am starting to see why Presley's so protective of you.
She tries her best.
Does she blame me?
No! You couldn't have known. And she's not going to stop us being friends either. She's glad I've made friends because before I met you guys, I didn't have any. I had to change schools after Paige died, and had been in that school ever since. that no one's wanted to be friends with me. However, I started a new school this month, obviously, and well, I haven't really had the chance to get to know anyone yet. I hope I do, but it still saved my life.
Ford's braver than me. I'm a coward.
If this is about Lilliana, then no.
Freddie didn't respond.
Braver than me, though. I was so helpless there.
No.
You did your best, Ylva, and that's all you can do. We needed someone else. And then Presley and Ford came to the rescue.
Else we'd be dead.
Don't say that.
It's a fact. You can't dispute a fact.
Right. Anyway, Freddie, you are not a coward.
Explain to me why you say so.
You risked your life for me a couple of weeks ago.
How?
You probably don't remember, but I do. Lena was in control of the car, swerving everywhere. You jumped in front of the car. You could have died, Freddie. If Ellis hadn't sharply braked when he shoved Lena off him, then you would have died, Freddie. You are certainly not a coward. You were prepared to die to stop the car from crashing into something so that I lived. I will never, ever think of you as a coward.
No one responds. Leave them off Freddie, because secretly they all knew Ford was right.
I don't care if you accidentally lose your temper and throw something in the heat of the moment. That's human, and that's okay. We all make mistakes, but there is no way in hell I'd ever end our friendship for something like that. Whatever Johnny says, you've done so much for me, and I can never, ever repay that debt.